it's Gabby, and today I'm going to be taking you through my BOOKCON 2016 haul. I'm very excited to show you everything that I acquired throughout the day, but before I get started, I want to briefly mention that I have two other videos concerning BOOKCON that I will be linking down below. One is the vlog, and then the other is an experience video, so if those sound interesting to you, I definitely click the links down below. But other than that, I'm going to get right into my haul. So let's get started. Alright, so the first 4 books I'm going to be showing you guys are books that I actually got after BOOKCON. I got them at an author signing at Anderson's Bookshop, and if you have not heard of Anderson's, I'll be linking all their information down below, but they basically are the bookstore that provided all the books for BEA throughout the week, and that's like the big bookstore in Chicago where a lot of authors come to do their signings. And so I went there for a signing and I picked up a few books that I figured I'd include in this haul, so I'm going to start with those. The first book I have here is the book that I bought for the signing, and that is The Star Touch Queen by Roshni Chachki, and this book I've been seeing all over BookTube, so when I found out that Roshni was going to be doing a signing at Anderson's, I definitely knew that I had to go and check it out. And I'm very glad that I did because she was so sweet and so engaging. She signed my copy of the book, and it says, "To Gabby, may the stars shine for you, Roshni." And so this is a book that has to do a lot with hope and fate and Indian folklore and mythology, and then there's also a Hades and Persephone's feel in there. And so this is a book that I'm very excited to get into, and I'm so glad that I picked up a copy. The next book I have here is a compilation of 12 short stories written by a ton of amazing authors, and that is Summer Days and Summer Nights, edited by Stephanie Perkins. And so this book features 12 summery love stories written by a whole bunch of insane authors. And the biggest reason I picked this book up is because I was feeling these type of books, like a fun summery romance, and then also Cassandra Clare has a short story in this book, which is super exciting, so I'm probably going to read hers first, but this can be a book that I'm going to carry with me throughout the summer, and I'll probably try to read like 1 short story a week or something like that, just because I want to be able to have it with me throughout the entire summer, because I really can't read these books all in one sitting. But I'm so glad to have picked up a copy of this, and I think it's going to be really fun to read. So the third book I have here is a book that I've been needing to pick up for such a long time, and when I found an in-store copy that was signed, I knew that I had to pick it up, and that is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I really don't know anything about this book other than that it has to do with time travel, and that is enough to intrigue me. But I haven't read any Alexandra Bracken books, and I knew that I had to pick up her book as soon as I possibly could, so Passenger was like the most manageable thing for me to pick up instead of starting a whole new series. But this copy, as I said, was also signed, and there is her signature there. But I'm so glad I picked this book up, and I'm so stoked to get into it, especially because I've been seeing it all over BookTube. So the fourth and final book here is one that I actually finished this morning, and I absolutely loved it, and that is More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. So the biggest reason I picked this book up is because a whole bunch of booktubers went to dinner with Adam Silvera during BEA, and he gave out arcs of his new book, History Is All You Left Me, which comes out January 2017, and I did not get an arc of his book, which makes me sad, but I was like, wait, there's an Adam Silvera book out there that you have not read yet. And so I picked up a copy of More Happy Than Not. I'm not really going to talk about much about the book because I'm going to have a review up June 7th because that is Adam Silvera's birthday, and I figured, why not celebrate by reviewing his book on his birthday? So you'll be finding out more about this book when I review it. That is pretty much it for that section of the haul. I'm going to now get into the stuff that I got at BookCon. So the first thing that I have for my BookCon haul is not actually a book, but a sampler, and that is for Something in Between by Melissa De La Cruz, and this is signed by Melissa, and it says, Gabby, XOXO, Melissa De La Cruz. And Something in Between comes out September 27th from Harlequin Teen under 17 Fiction. And Something in Between follows Jasmine De Los Santos, who is this Filipino immigrant that came into the country as a little girl. And so throughout growing up in the U.S. and coming into the U.S., Jasmine has always felt this need to prove herself. And so she's always studied really hard, gotten good grades, volunteered a lot, and taken a part in her school when it comes to clubs and activities and such. And so all this hard work pays off for Jasmine, and when senior year of high school, she gets a letter from the President of the United States inviting her to Washington, D.C. to accept a national scholarship award. And so Jasmine is super excited about this because she hasn't been able to do many teenagery things throughout her life just because she's been so focused on proving herself as an American citizen when the time comes when she turns 18. But proving that she can be an American citizen and that she'll be able to get equal opportunity when she does become a citizen. And so she goes and she tells her parents about the scholarship, and she finds out that their visas expired years ago and she is now an illegal immigrant. So this is about Jasmine kind of finding the something in between of being a STAR student and a regular teenage girl. And next thing I have here is another sampler, but it's one that I'm going to talk about really quickly, and that is Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. This is the sampler for the first book in her new series that comes out January 17th. And from what I've heard, this sort of has a Star Wars feel to it, and I'm excited for a new series to come out and kind of see how it compares to Divergent and see how Veronica's writing style has grown. But still excited to have this, so I figured I'd include it in my haul. So now getting into some actual books. The first one I have here is another recent finish of the month of May, and that is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in A Court of Thorns and Roses series and takes place 3 months after all the events that took place in the first book. And I'm really not going to say much other than that, but I'll be reviewing this book on my channel sometime soon. But I absolutely loved it, and I think it was fantastic and such a great second book in the series, and definitely didn't have that second book slump that a lot of people talk about. But fun thing about this book is that it is signed by Sarah, and it says, "To Gabby, oops, Sarah J. Maas." And so she basically messed up the Y in my name, and so that's why she put the oops. Next book I have here is an ARC, and that is for The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. And this book comes out September 20th under Catherine Teagan Books. And I read this and I absolutely loved it. It was so heartbreaking and just absolutely amazing at the same time. And it addresses a lot of issues that are really important in society while doing it in an interesting way of telling it from 3 different point of views. And that's all I'm really going to say about this book because I'll be doing a non-spoiler review of it on my channel, so you'll have to be on the lookout for that. The next book I have here is a book that is independently published, as it's written by an independent author, and that is The Paladin by J.M. Storin. And J.M. signed this for me, and it says, "To Gabby, J.M. Storin." And this book follows Brianna, who is this hunter, and she has this stone that promises invincibility. And so when the stone is taken away by a ruthless and sinister empire, they're obviously going to use the stone for their own evil purposes, and so it's about Brianna getting the stone back and going on this whole journey. The next book I have here is an ARC, and I really don't know much about it, so this is kind of going to be short, but that is Frostblood by Ellie Blake. This comes out January 2017, and from what I can tell, it has like a Red Queen vibe to it, but other than that, I really don't know much, but it sounds exciting and sounds like something that I'd be interested in, so I'll tell you guys more about it once I finish it. Next on the list, we have Two Summers by Amy Friedman, and this is signed by Amy. It says, "To Gabby, enjoy, Amy Friedman." And this book follows this girl Summer and her split-second decision that changes her summer. And so basically there's these 2 different summers that are in like parallel worlds sort of thing. So like one takes place in New York and then the other takes place in Paris. The next 2 books I have here are books that I'm going to be showing you side by side because they don't need much introduction, and that is 2 books by Cassandra Clare. I have City of Ashes and then Lady Midnight. I reviewed Lady Midnight on my channel, so I'll be linking that review down below if you're interested. But these are both signed by Cassandra Clare, and I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Like, City of Ashes is personalized, which that is even more just like, I can't believe it. And so it says, "For Gabby, Cassandra Clare," and then Lady Midnight is just signed by Cassie. It says just the CC. But I'm so glad to have gotten copies of these books. I already brought Lady Midnight from home, and I'm very glad to have gotten a copy of City of Ashes because that's the one book that I did not have a copy of in the Mortal Lynchman series, so I'm so happy to have these. The next book I have here is also an ARC, and that is for Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. If you've seen my review for Illuminae, which I will link down below, I wanted a gem in arc so badly, so when I got one, I could not have been more stoked. And so I got to meet Amy and Jay, and they signed the arc for me. And it says, "To Gabby, take your shot, Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff." And the one thing I didn't know about this book is that it's told from a different perspective than the first one, and it follows like different characters on their journey instead of the original characters that we met in the first book. And I think that's really interesting and really exciting, and I am so excited to get into this and so glad that I have a copy. Just praise bless. And so the final two books that I have here, I'm also going to be showing side by side because they are written by the same author. And that is Yellow Brick War by Danielle Page and Stealing Snow. Stealing Snow is an arc, and it kind of is a Snow Queen retelling. And other than that, I don't know much about it, but I got to meet Danielle, and she signed it for me. And so it says, "Gabby, own the moment, XO, Danielle Page." I already read Yellow Brick War, which is the third book in the Dorothy Must Die series. I reviewed that on my channel, which I'll be linking down below. And speaking of channel, Danielle Page also signed this for me. And if I can find where she signed it, okay. It says, "To Gabby, follow your yellow brick road. I love your channel, XO, Danielle Page." And for an author to say that they love my channel, like written inside one of their books that I reviewed on my channel, is just so mind-blowing, and I could not be more thankful to Danielle for being so amazing and signing that in my book, and just I will cherish this forever. So quickly, a few other things I'm going to show you that I got at an in-booth signing that I went to. This is a poster for the author that was doing the in-booth signing. It is for the second book in the Whispers of the Fallen trilogy by J.D. Netto, and so he signed this for me, and I think this print is really cool, although I have not read any of his books. Next thing I have here is also another print, and it is signed by Natasha of Tashopolis, and she Harry Potter'd it, if you can see that. But I'm really glad to have met her because I absolutely love her channel. So the final thing that I have here to show you guys is some Zenith swag, and if you guys do not know, Zenith is a book that is being co-written by Sasha Ellsberg, who runs the channel A Book Utopia, and Lindsay Cummings. And Lindsay has written several other books, and she also has her own channel. And this book is more sci-fi-esque and like space-like, and kind of has a little bit of inspiration from some Star Wars and stuff like that. And this is the first part in the Andromeda Saga, and it comes out June 21st. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time for a new video. Goodbye. Oh my god, I can't. I'm gonna drop all of these books. Oh my god. Oh my god.